So this is a pretty popular modification for the Honda Pioneer. It's the under seat storage, little marine door. I'll leave a link for that. Now, I did originally buy the Honda under seat storage. There is one kind of inherent design flaw, and that's that little plug at the bottom. So I'll show it with the seat off here in a second. But if you're coming through and it's raining, you're pulling on the trailer, you wash it, stuff like that, water has this way to make it down into that box. If you have the plug in it, then it's just going to trap water and it's going to hold it in there with your tools and a whole bunch of other stuff. Now on the flip side, if you leave the plug out and you hit a creek crossing or something like that, it's pushing water back up into the box. So it's kind of danged if you do, danged if you don't type scenario there. Now, the other thing is getting the stuff. Now you can pop this seat out, one little lever right here. It's not a hard thing to do. Now, if I happen to get off camber or something like that, and I need to get to some recovery gear to get a good winch point or something like that, and I have the dog and the fiance in here, now I have to get them out the machine to get to that, and that helps solve a lot of it. Now, I did use half of that box, and I'll show you that here in just a second. So, nice thing about that, just reach in here, start pulling stuff. That's 2 rain jackets. This is my go-to emergency toolkit here. And I put everything in waterproof bags. I think that's the better scenario. Now, thousands of miles down the trail, sure, you can. And that's my emergency tie rod kit that I've used and replaced a few different times. So definitely recommend that. This is my emergency shackle kit. And I'll show you what I got in these bags if you kind of want to copy that. But it's a pretty good toolkit combination. Now, the one that won't come out is my pass-through set. That one is big enough square wise. Now, if I take the upper Honda section out, I can actually pull this straight out, and I'll show you why I did leave the Honda section here in just a second. So once you pop the seat off, again, one lever. This is the rubber membrane, kind of keeps a little bit of a barrier for this year. The little push pins can go in here and kind of make everything a little bit more secure. Well, if you have it around there, that will pretty much do the job you need it to. Now, if you notice, I do have the upper half of the Honda storage box in here. It's a little bit of a pain. I do have to take it out to get to this bigger toolbox that I have. But there is a very good reason I did decide to do that. And if you do this mod, this is the one thing I tell you to kind of keep in mind. There goes your ECU for the machine. Bunch of wires, stuff in here that's kind of important to make the machine run. Again, all that's in there. Now, again, you have a good amount of storage underneath here. Now, the reason I kept the upper half of the box and something that you would need to think about, again, ECM wires, stuff like that. You put heavy tools and stuff in here, and you ride kind of sportish, and you're hitting bumps and jumps and stuff like that. I don't want anything to come bashing up against the wires, the ECU and stuff like that. So even though that was, I think it was 150 bucks, something like that, just for that kit, I do feel like it was almost worth it just for my peace of mind and how much I ride. And again, you don't have to necessarily buy this, but whatever you decide to store in here, I would recommend you find a way to keep stuff from bashing or beating and stuff like that. If you have, like, one of these bags is 2 rain poncho sit-ups and stuff like that, that's kind of soft. If I didn't have this kit, like, I would do something like that up top, so, and put my heavier stuff at the bottom, so it kind of creates a little bit of a buffer. But again, at no point do I think it's a good idea to be bashing up against that kind of stuff. You can kind of see how that works. Again, all this is a marine grade door. Did cut a little tight down in here. It's just a slight gap there. The door itself is about 7 inches wide by 10. The whole upper is right around 12 inches in the whole width. I'm gonna say 9-ish right in there. Now, the hardware that comes with it was just fine. Again, all you really got to do for the install, it's pretty simple, is just get you a Dremel, Sawzall, whatever you're kind of familiar with. Just cut you a template, cut it. Now, the door does have a marine grade sill around it, but again, that's for marine applications. This is not going to keep your stuff dry. There's a nice big hole there, so sand, dust, dirt, debris will get in this little compartment, but it is a nice size storage that you can unlock, so to speak. But I would recommend again, some type of waterproof bag to keep your stuff in out of the elements. That's everything I pulled out, and that is everything that's in those bags. So this is kind of like, this is my sit it and for part of my sit it and forget it, I've got it if I need it type kit. Always carry a tie rod. Now on the Honda Pioneer 16 to 21, I have been a handful of tie rods and some rough stuff. It's always been the inner. I do have the outers here just in case, but never needed them on the trail. Couple rain poncho kits right there. Nice little pass through complete sit there. This is my emergency kind of hit the fan kit. I do like the soft shackle, but extra recovery gear for winch points, tying on, a couple slug patches. I do have also, in case you break a valve stem, they're handy to have in a pinch too. I have the exact, again, know your machine, know what size you need, but that is the exact size I need if I need to pull the axle for some reason on trail. Luckily I've never broke one. This little doodah is nice. You can extend it, really get some torque on there. This is a crescent wrench big enough to change, set inner tie rod, zip ties, extra little odd end stuff that might be needed. I also keep a fire extinguisher, tire plug patch kit, something to pump it up, and a nice multi-tool in my machine. But this is the stuff, like, I hope I don't need to get to it, but when I have need to get to it or help fix somebody else's machine or something like that, or recovery point, this is the kind of the base kit that comes in clutch when you really need it type thing. Just for emergency, I keep a little hand pump if need be. I always carry some type of 18-volt inflator for the bigger trips, some CO2 cartridges just to kind of double up there, some patches, plugs, rubber cement, be able to change that. Of course, a good multi-tool is always an essential. You'll be surprised how many times I've pulled that out over the years, but that's kind of like my sit it and forget it complete kit there. Again, fairly simple mod. If y'all have any questions or anything, and hopefully give y'all some kind of food for thought for some good ideas and some stuff to bring with you. If you got any questions or anything, drop it in the comments. Hope y'all have a good one. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, give you some ideas for rides. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more similar content, and hope you have a good one.